Hi, BB here again. I am not an educator. I am not an expert. I don't have a college degree. I'm 30 years old, but I do want a teaching degree of some sort. I like alternative teaching methods, materials designed for kindergarten to 12th grade. And recently, I bought 3 books on Facebook Marketplace, and they're pretty cool. They're Canadian science educational reference books. I guess you would have maybe in a 4th and 5th grade classroom, maybe in some middle school classrooms, middle school library, or if you homeschool your kids. These are very great educational reference books that you can use over and over and over and over again for different units of study, different assignments, different projects, different worksheets, different lesson plans, different kids, and the same kids in sibling sets. So you're not just getting one book, you have 3 books. So here they So these are in 3D. The glasses are in this one. This is Extreme 3D Scary Bugs, Extreme 3D Your Body, Extreme 3D Weird Animals. These are secular, faith neutral, non-religious. So if you're that type of homeschool parent who is irrationally and illogically afraid of, oh no, my kid is going to learn secular mainstream science, it's the end of the world, then you have problems. Because these books are great, these topics are great, and not everything in homeschooling needs to be Christianized or religious style of formatting, or what someone else calls brainwashing. I redefine that as thought process conditioning, because brainwashing, you gotta break it down into how someone else thinks, reacts, communicates, and absorbs information. So, when science books in homeschooling have a lot of the God stuff and Bible scripture and very biased writings by the editors, by the authors, and by the creators of the books, where they put in their own opinions into the narratives of what should be fact-based learning, but instead they put their own opinions and narratives in there because they want to influence the student how to think in, say, a Baptist mindset, or a Methodist mindset, or a Catholic mindset, or an LDS Mormon homeschool mindset. A lot of that is thought process conditioning, because they're conditioning the thought process of the reader. And a broad term would be brainwashing, but it's really about breaking down the formatting and the lesson plans, the wording, word for word, sentence by sentence, fact by fact, fake fact by lie by fake fact. What should be facts about bugs end up being biased, opinionated, drivelous blarney by people who get into church preaching but don't really have any educational background or credentials to be publishing educational teaching material. But they do it anyways. And that's an asshole dick move. This was published in 2005, I believe. British Columbia. Yep, text copyright 2005. Oh, Bellevue, Washington. I live near Bellevue. I live in Renton. It's pretty close. I mean, look at that. I mean, it wants you to use the 3D glasses from the set, but basically, wow. Nails, anatomy of a fingernail. How can you twist biblical scripture and born-again evangelical nutbaggery into these scientific concepts? It's absolutely beyond me why homeschool publishing companies do that kind of crap. Blending your biblical views and your church political thought process opinions into what should be kid-friendly, preteen-friendly reading material. That's just bad. You shouldn't be blending your religious views into something that doesn't need it. Fleas. Look at that flea, yo. Look at that flea. Up close. I don't even have the 3D glasses out, and yet that's still creepy. Facts. Not religious biased opinion, but facts. See what I mean? This is just... You can pause the video to be able to read what's on the pages. I'm trying to hold my phone as still as possible. And then the inside cover, like so. I bought all three of these books for $25. Look at that mofo. Now this, again, published 2005, Bellevue, Washington, by Silver Dolphin Books. I think I've had some other books when I was a kid in my teen years from Silver Dolphin. Maybe I checked them out from the library. Ants. Facts. Not religious blarney. Facts. Call me a hater of religious homeschool materials all you want. I already do that to myself. And I love it. I love hating on religious homeschool material. The Good and the Beautiful certainly is not going to teach these concepts, these facts, and these cool pictures. Bob Jones, Abika? No, they're not going to touch on any of these topics whatsoever. Aces, Life Pack. They're not going to recognize any of these ideas either. Heart of Dakota, Sunlight. I highly doubt they would touch anything beyond butterflies. Very peaceful looking animals instead of... Maybe they'll touch on the life cycle of a spider. But what spider? Tarantula? House spider? Brown recluse spider? Black widow? A jumping spider? Frog spiders? Crab spiders? Seafloor urchin spiders? I'm just making up shit as I go, but you get the point. What about Apologia? I think that's the worst possible name you could name your science curriculum. They're not really apologizing for the lack of scientific facts, but The name certainly does sound like it. Apologize. It's a science curriculum, but very Christianized, and it's common in ACEs, Life Pack, Sunlight, Classical Conversations. This is Weird Animals. Again, Silver Dolphin Books, 2005. Very educational reference. I'd say 3rd grade to 8th grade. Good for high school students who do have, say, a lower threshold for intense reading. High school students, 9th to 12th grade teens who don't want to overdose on a single page of reading and are more likely to be intrigued by detailed pictures and life-size photographs and photo pictures with fact-based learning included in the captions. If your older child or older teen has special needs, or they respond to very visual curriculum and very visual, fun to look at, easy on the eyes materials, these books might be a great idea. Of course, these are very dated from 2005, but the concept of these educational reference books for students who are very visual learners, who have very low thresholds for intense reading, who do better with fact-based learning, who do better with visual, photographic, lifelike photographs instead of cartoon clip art. And yes, you could find a video on all of this, find a billion videos on YouTube, but it's still good to have that paper flip through of a book. So that way the student can decide, I'm done reading this book for now, I'll get back to it later. I'm just going to do this one assignment on jellyfish. I'm going to use this book and one video on YouTube, and then I'm going to be done for the rest of the afternoon, and tomorrow I'll get back to the jellyfish topic and other sea urchins and parasitic sea life tomorrow. See, at that point, I'd say the high school student is doing okay. They're doing okay. They're breaking up their lessons and materials and content based on their threshold for their patience and their attention span. And I think these educational reference books are great for students who just have those threshold, attention span difficulties where they know what their own limits are. But if the parent or the teacher just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, 10 more word problems and read 15 more pages and read a book that's nothing but words and no pictures whatsoever, only certain students are going to make it that far. And other students are more visual. Maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they don't even have the words to describe their style of learning. But what they do know is that they want more pictures. But maybe they're scared to admit it out loud because they don't want to sound babyish or childish. And they push themselves hard not to. But in reality, they know that they still do better from a visual aspect of learning and not just words, words, words. Squidward. Squidward tentacles. Tarantulas. Give his tarantula to SpongeBob, I'm sure he would freak out. Zoidberg? Looks like Zoidberg, even though Zoidberg's a lobster. Now that is Zoidberg. Glossary. See, these books are great because they have glossaries in them. So that way a student doesn't have to just look to Google for a definition, because the definition that Google gives them may not apply to the context of the book that they're reading. And so a context-based glossary can definitely help. And there you go. That is Weird Animals, Scary Bugs, and Your Body. And again, I hate Christian homeschool curricula with a burning passion. Because none of those brands of Christianized, born-again, nutbag homeschool curricula are going to teach these concepts. What are you so afraid of? Why are you so afraid of teaching your kids fact? Why do you keep on referring to an old book written in the 9th, 10th, and 16th centuries? Written by man. Published by man. Distributed by man. Just as these books are written, published, and distributed by man. And these books are published and distributed by man, and I'll get to those in my final video. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe today. I don't know. There you go. That's it. For right now, I'll stack these books. Put them on my shelf. Homeschooling, people. Homeschooling. It's a need right now because schools aren't in business. And even those schools that have shorter spring schedules and start earlier in August, and so they let out in the last week of May, the first week of June, just because it's May and then it will be June doesn't mean that school should stop. Do one school lesson a day. Give your kid an hour and a half per day to do one specific topic of a lesson, to find like 5 or 6 YouTube videos and do a little bit of reading, do a little bit of writing. Use the resources that you have at home and buy the books that you know multiple kids in your household can benefit from. And buy the books on Amazon. It helps. It will help. Just homeschool in small doses. And to all the Christian homeschool born-again nutbag mommy bloggers out there, Weird Animals. Do it. Try it. Give it a try. It can't hurt your kid to learn about facts and real world things. Please, people, give your kids facts, not baloney. Adios.